Hello friends, Tanya here for Spellbinders, and today I am going to play with the Spellbinders August 2022 card kit of the month. We're going to jump right into card number 1 here. I've pulled out the embossing folder of the month, Intertwined Lattice, and I took a piece of the pink cardstock that came with the kit and I cut it down to, honestly, I don't remember. I just used the precision layering dies and I cut a smaller piece that would fit in the middle of this beautiful piece of pattern paper that came in the pad that comes with the kit. And we're going to adhere that centered on our card base. Next, I took several pieces of the ephemera. There's a lot of gorgeous ephemera. If you want to see all of the pieces at once, be sure to go check out my unboxing video. You'll get to see all of the different pieces and you'll get to see all of the kit contents. This ticket piece had 2 different sayings on it and I cut it apart so we could use the one that fit this card the best. I have also already added some cardstock pieces, some scraps behind each of the pieces of ephemera. If you've been watching any of these card making videos for very long, you'll know the secret to making ephemera feel more substantial and look better on your cards is to add a little bit of bulk behind them. Next, we're going to use the stamp set that comes in the kit. It is a really nice stamp set. Spellbinders has been doing a great job with their stamp sets lately, including a variety of general use sentiments to include on the inside of the card and to use on the front of the card. Now, I like to decorate the insides of my cards also, and what better use for the ephemera than to carry it to the inside also. I'm also going to add some of these Color Essential sequins in the Peach Opalescent. I love that these don't have a hole in the center and that there's 3 different sizes of sequins in each of these packs. And peach, oh my gosh, it goes with so many colors. It's like the gold chameleon. Anything on the warm side of the spectrum, this will go with that group. For card number 2, I'm going to pull out an oldie but a goodie. This is the Essential Dual Lines Glimmer Circles, and I'm going to pair it with the Nestabilities circles in large and small. I'm using the 3 3/4 inch circle in this grouping. I'm going to use some gold foiling and a piece of black cardstock that came in the kit, and I'm going to glimmer hot foil this with my glimmer foiling system. Of course, I'm just going to tack down this circle on the cardstock so it doesn't shift. I want to make sure that my die will have room to cut out our circle. Then I'll center this onto that foiled circle area and we'll die cut that, and we have the perfect backdrop for this butterfly kitten moon. And there is a coordinating pattern paper in the pack from the kit. We're going to adhere that to the card base. Now, all of my pattern paper pieces that I adhere to cards have been cut out using the precision layering die sets. There's the precision layering A and B for the A2 size, and there's also the mini slimline version that I have. I've taken that second piece of ticket and I'm tucking that behind our circle, and I'm going to add our little kitten in the middle of our moon base here, and we're going to use some of the stars that are included in the kit to add a little extra fun around that moon. This card came together very quickly. It was super easy and it's super cute. We're also going to use some of the chipboard stickers. Actually, we're using one of them. Now, the humidity is very high here in Minnesota right now. And so my adhesive backer on the back of these chipboard stickers always wanted to separate this time. Again, humidity, I'm sure, had a large role to play with this because that's never happened to me in the past. Now we're going to add some of these peach opalescent sequins again. These are such a cool addition to so many different cards. Of the colors, I think that's the most versatile that I've used so far. Now the bisque ones that came out with the release this spring, they with the celebration, the birthday celebration, those work great too. We're also going to stamp on the inside of the card using one of the sentiments from the kit. And maybe I'll actually read this to you. I can't remember what it says. Let me pull that card out of my stack here. Good thing I have them sitting right next to me. This one says, "You have everything you need to make your dreams come true." So cool. Next, we have the APG of the month. This is called, where's my notes? Peekaboo Trellis Panels. And there we're seeing the precision layering A2 dies. Here is that pattern paper pack. So we're going to take this light floral background and we're going to use that as a background behind these beautiful roses. They could be any abundant flower. I die cut the outlines from the gold foil, the mirror card that comes in the kit, and the lighter pink is the base. And that lighter pink also came from the card kit. I didn't pull any card stock other than some of the white layering pieces from anywhere but the kit. Everything else came from the kit when it comes to the paper. And then we're going to layer a piece of white cardstock. Again, use the precision layering dies to cut our different matting layers. Going to adhere this. We're using my favorite, the Barely Art Precision Glue. One of the great things about the Barely Art Precision Glue is it doesn't set off my asthma, unless my asthma is already really sensitive, but then all bets are off and everything sets me off. You have no idea how long it takes me to do the voiceovers on these videos because I have to stop and cough too often, and you sure as heck don't want to hear that. That's just a little behind the scenes information that maybe you didn't want to know. Of course, we're going to add a little bit of cardstock behind all of these different pieces of ephemera, and we're going to tuck these behind those large flowers. I know that they aren't exactly flowers that you would typically see together. Most people that have a rose garden would work very diligently to keep the dandelions out of their flower beds. Dandelions are a very beneficial plant, though. They help bring nutrients back up to the surface of the ground. At least that's what I've been reading lately. I love gardening and I love things that help me understand how to make the soil and the environment in my yard healthier and happier. And I've always been someone who is fine with letting wildflowers grow, especially dandelions. I just thought it was kind of, I don't know, against nature to go pull out a dandelion. Did you know that they take 2 years before they will actually flower, and they have a very deep taproot, which makes them difficult to get rid of? Boy, I've been talking about dandelions a lot. But they've got these beautiful dandelions featured in this ephemera, and I really love playing with the grandkids and with my kids when they were smaller and letting them blow the seeds across the yard. There is just something dreamy and magical about those little puffs of seeds. Now we're going to use one of my other favorite things to use inside of my cards, and that's the Delicata ink in Golden Glitz. I also have Celestial Copper, but in this particular instance, the Golden Glitz matched better. And of course, my favorite ink for sentiments is the VersaFine Clair Nocturne ink. The Onyx Black is great too. I just don't like the lid as much because I am a klutz and I drop the ink pad when I have to deal with the flipping, when the lid flips to the back. All right, we're on to card number 4 already. We're also going to use that embossing folder of the month again, the Interlaced Lattice. And I am using this beautiful black card pattern paper from the pad again with this lovely script. And I honestly didn't read the script, but I'm sure it's something positive. We're taking different pieces of ephemera here and combining them. I thought this long section of inspirational information, it isn't really quotes, just jargon, would look great on this ledger printed tag. And then I thought that this frame that comes in the die set in the kit would go perfect around this sentiment. So I die cut it with the mirror cardstock from the kit, and I framed up our sentiment over the tag. We've got our white embossed piece that it's all going to anchor onto, and we're going to adhere that to the card front underneath these. And I've already added extra dimension behind each of these pieces of ephemera, and now it's time to glue it all down. Now with the embossed panels, I often add a piece of cardstock behind them to help stabilize them a little bit, especially when you have good deep embossing. It tends to make the paper much more flexible. So it might need a little more rigidity to make it work or look the best. That's where that extra layer of scrap card comes in. We're going to add our little bird right over the front of our cage. This is a freed bird. And that pretty much finishes up the grouping. We're going to pull in these puffy glitter sentiments from the kit also, and we're going to choose the word high, and I'm just going to place that carefully right over the top of our embossing and onto the pattern paper. And we're going to add some more of these pink opalescent sequins. They go perfectly with the pink in this card. And that's the finishing touches for the outside of this card. We're going to add some stamping to the inside of this card yet again. And I don't know why I show you adhering sequins every single time, because it doesn't change. If you don't want to see the sequin application, leave me a comment in the description box below. Maybe I need to trim that out of my editing, within my editing. So the sentiment we're using on the inside is, by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world that was not there before. I love these encouraging sentiments. You could use these for all kinds of occasions. And I think that if you're anything like me, you're going to send cards that don't necessarily have an occasion sent to them or attached to them more often than I would for a specific occasion, just because I'm terrible at sending my cards out at the right times. We're also going to use the Golden Glitz Delicata ink again to stamp these pretty butterflies that are from that stamp set. On to card number 5. Now this one was so fast because I literally just took that large ephemera panel and some cardstock and layered it up and added a butterfly sticker. That's it. We've got this gorgeous pattern paper in the kit, and sometimes it's okay to let that take the highlight of the card. Now, when I adhered the cardstock to the card base, because I didn't want any of the white showing from the card base, I just made sure that I trimmed off any extra with my guillotine trimmer here. Then we have this beautiful black pattern paper, which I could have made a card just with this and a simple bold sentiment die cut right in the middle. But instead we're going to use this beautiful panel that really coordinates well with the flowers in the pattern paper. I've got a piece of the mirror cardstock in gold here again from the kit, and I'm adhering my pretty panel right over the top of that, so I have a nice edge. I think I cut that so it's 1/4 of an inch overall wider than the piece. And there are those beautiful butterflies that come in this kit. They're 2 layers. The back layer is solid, very flexible, very sticky sticker. And that one I accidentally pulled apart. Then inside, we're going to add a couple more butterflies from the ephemera pack and the sentiment, "Happy Birthday, Beautiful Dreamer." That was a lovely way to decorate the front of the inside of the card. And I actually think that the way I lined these up would make a pretty front of a card too. I still might do that. I did not do that in this 10 cards, one kit. Sometimes the insides of my cards would make good fronts of cards. They're just a lot more simple. This is card number 6, I believe. And we are going to take another of the large ephemera pieces that has a long sentence on, or a long sentiment on it. And we're going to adhere that over our pattern paper. I wanted this off center a little bit just to shake things up, because I tend to center things. It's just where my brain goes automatically. Sometimes I have to push myself to do things not in the automatic fashion. And we're going to take that die cut frame again from the kit die set, and we're going to frame that around our sentiment. It fits perfectly. Next, we're going to take this beautiful cup with a bouquet in it, and we're going to adhere that to the lower right corner of our card. I do add a little bit of paper or cardstock scraps behind the bottom of this cup to make up for the change in height between that frame and the layered up sentiment piece. And we'll adhere that to the card. And now that I'm looking at this, I see that I didn't put any glue on the cardstock pieces that I stacked. Next, we're taking one of the ephemera sentiments. It says beautiful in every way. And we're adhering that next to the cup. And then one of the die cut butterfly details. So there are 2 butterfly dies in our kit this time. There's the solid base background and this very detailed piece that you're supposed to overlay over the butterflies. And I just skipped the base piece. And here come those beautiful iridescent opalescent sequins again, only this time we're using the pink opalescent, and they look great too. The peach would have looked fine, but I have the pink ones, so I decided to use them. Now inside the card, we're going to stamp a greeting that says, the best thing I decided to do is to share my life and laughter with you. Now I think that would work with friends and with loved ones, whether it's your husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, aunt, uncle, friend, whatever. Now on to card number 7. I'm going to do a 5x7 card this time. I did use all of my card bases. I made a card in the unboxing video, which I don't show here. It will be shown, the process of making that card will be shown in the unboxing video. It is going to be pictured in the end of this video. But I have a 5x7 card base here. I've used the embossing folder of the month called Intertwined Lattice, and I embossed a piece of, this is kind of a naturals colored speckly cardstock from my stash. It's actually from my scrap bin. And I adhered that to the card base. I did put a piece of scrap cardstock behind that again to give it a little extra rigidity. And then I took the largest circle die I could find from my stash and die cut that beautiful piece of pattern paper with the radiating gold foiled lines and adhered that to my card base and several fun ephemera pieces from the kit. We've got a filled with happiness sentiment, and we've got another of those gorgeous butterflies from the kit, and we're going to take another puffy. Well, I guess we're not going to use the sentiments. We're going to use several of the puffy glitter hearts, and these are foam stickers with glitter on the top, and we're going to adhere those around our main element. They are really pretty, and they have really good adhesives. And this is the only card I'm going to use the sequins for this kit in. These are the embellishments that came in this month's kit. They're this beautiful aqua teal blue with iridescence, and they do have holes in the centers, and they come in 2 different sizes, and they match a couple of the butterflies, but that's about all they match in the kit. So I didn't really use them much, but they match the under the water or under the sea magic kit from last month. So if you have that kit and you haven't broken it out yet, these sequins will match that kit even better than they match this kit. I again stamped the butterfly, and I pulled some of the I pulled one of the stars in from the kit, or from the stamp set, and stamped those in golden glitz. And then we used the by being yourself, you put something wonderful in the world sentiment on that one. Then we're on to card number, oh, is this card number 8? It sure is. We're going to use the interlaced lattice embossing folder again. And we're also going to use the Fluted Classics ovals. And I pulled out something brand new to me. This is the opal gilding polish, opal polish in golden flamingo. And I'm going to burnish this into a piece of white cardstock. This happens to be some of the linen textured cardstock, kind of like basil white cardstock. It's actually from past card kits. I used to cut the card bases up and use them as layering pieces, and I have a ton of them. They work very well for lots of different techniques. So I die cut the fluted oval, and then I use the embossing folder. Don't do it in the opposite direction because you'll ruin your embossing. And now I'm going to take this golden flamingo opal polish, and I'm going to go very lightly over the top of that embossing, trying to decide which of these I like best. And it dries instantly. Well, nearly dry. Doesn't come off on my fingers. And we're going to stage these two different elements and decide which one I like better. And for this grouping of ephemera, and by the way, I'm using the Die of the Month kit for August, the outlined sentiments. I use the Hello version. And then we have this pattern paper piece from the pack. It's white with lovely little gold dandelion seeds blowing all over. We're going to use the solid pink one that I had used the golden flamingo polish on, opal polish. And the special part of the golden flamingo opal polish, or any of the opal polishes, is they have different colors depending on what the card stock that color is that you use. This is the outline sentiment die set. And as you can see, it comes with several different words and some flowers. Now we're going to pick one of the pink butterflies to go on this card. I love those butterflies. I am determined to use all of them. There is no reason to waste these gorgeous butterflies. I can definitely come up with several more cards with this kit. I don't know if I'll share them all, but I think I'm going to make more cards. Here is that golden flamingo opal polish. Now, I don't know if you know this, but you can stamp with this. I thought I was going to be able to get away with whatever I had left on the little sponge, which is actually part of the entire package. It's very well thought out, but I needed to pick up a little more of the opal polish on my sponge to apply it to our stamp. And it worked perfectly. I just used that little sponge like I would an ink pad and applied it to the stamp and stamped it down onto my cardstock. And it's gorgeous. It's like, oh, I just love it. It's so wonderful. I'm going to use this technique again with some other stamps later in this video. Beautiful, shimmery, opalescent, crisp, clean stamping. Love it. Now we're on to card number 9. This one we're going to use the cat that's holding a star. I decided to add the black pattern paper with gold foiled stars all over it as the background for this card. I also wanted another layer between the card base and the pattern paper. So I took some white cardstock, used my precision layering dies again to cut these slightly different sized. And then for our little frame die from the kit, it fits beautifully on a 2.5 by 3.5 inch piece of cardstock, or whatever it is you want to put behind it. That leaves a little bit of a border around your frame and fits just lovely on here. Now I know you can see all kinds of glue showing through on this frame right now, but when it dries matte and clear. That's one of the reasons that I love this glue. It doesn't dry tacky either. Sometimes you want a glue to dry tacky if you want to use it as a temporary adhesive behind like a mask or something, but that's what I'm not using that glue this way. And you can't use Barely Art glue that way. We're going to center that a little bit higher on the card and use my heavyweight block to let that adhere nicely. And we have the stars from the die kit also. Just going to add the fine detail mirror card die cut pieces to some white cardstock pieces. So we've got a die that cuts that beautiful detail of a star and one that cuts the 3 different sizes. Well, we have 3 different dies with a combo of detailed and nice solid base. We're going to glue those to the front of our card. I'm just checking my placement here. I want to use this chipboard sticker that says Make a Wish and adds another pop of a different color to the card. Black and white and gray is pretty, but sometimes I really want a punch of color in it. Otherwise, it's just a little too monotone. Just going to use the Barely Art Precision Glue to adhere these stars. I'm not even adding extra dimension behind them. I think they'll look fine without it. And then I do pull out those puffy stickers with the glitter on them again. And we're going to take the word shine and add that to the bottom of our card. I just thought that that was perfect with all of the stars on this card. And you can make this a birthday card or whatever you'd like. I do think I ultimately make this a birthday card. It's just fun and quirky enough for lots of the younger people I know, and actually some of the older people I know who are into just this whimsical cat and astrological feel, or just cat. Cats like to be the star of the show, and so do a lot of people I know. That's the fun front, and then inside we do use the Happy Birthday Beautiful Dreamer on the inside. Just going to stamp that with my favorite ink for sentiments and the last of these stars from the kit. So I did happen to use all of that version of the ephemera. Everything in the kit, all of the ephemera pieces, there are 2 of each of those ephemera pieces. So you could theoretically make 2 of each of the cards I've made today, except for those stars. Now we're on to card number 10. How did that go so fast? 10 cards already. So I've taken some black cardstock and I've embossed it with the intertwined lattice embossing folder again using black cardstock. And then I took our golden flamingo opal gilding paste, whatever we're calling it, and I'm lightly applying it to the black. And you can see where the golden flamingo name comes from, because on black cardstock it shows as a pretty gold, and on white cardstock it shows as pink. Golden Flamingo Opal Polish. There, that's the right name. I love these. I literally just got these last week. Next, we're going to add some glimmer foiling to a piece of the lighter pink cardstock, and we're going to use the essential circles this time to die cut those. I personally keep all of my circle elements, eyes and glimmer things, in a section of my dies labeled just circles, because when I need a circle, I can just go look in that file. I have some basic shape sections for these things, and I also have an A2 file, I have an A7 file, and I have a slimline and a mini slimline. Those are all basic shapes, so I can just go find what I need pretty quickly. We're also going to use this chipboard owl. I think that is so pretty and so fun and whimsical. We're also going to use another chipboard sticker. This one says, "You are free to fly." This might be my favorite card in this group. I love that background with the opal polish, and I love what I did with the stamps, which are called perfect floral bloom. And these are the clear stamps and dies of the month, which are so fun. They're a layering set. All of these pieces have layering ability. Now I did stamp those leaves in a green, I think that's bundled sage, saltwater taffy, and scattered straw for the distress inks. And then I pulled in, of course, our golden flamingo again, and I'm using it to stamp on the centers of these two flowers. Now I also used it for the branch, for the leaves there. I don't show you that, but I ink up the fine line for the branches and stamp those on there, and I think that turned out gorgeous. You'll have to take a look at the stills and let me know what you think. I also did several flowers with the opal polish, both in that pink and then in a gilding polish that is a yellow. I don't remember what gold it is, but it's a gold colored opal not opal polish, because this one doesn't change color depending on the cardstock. It is gold, period, but I don't remember which color it is. It's called a gilding polish, made by the same people. We're going to add these little groupings of flowers around our owl just to add some more balance and fill this card out, and to play with our clear stamp and die of the month. I think they're just perfect for this. I was trying to pull the colors in from the flowers underneath the owl, and I think I did a pretty good job. That is it. That is all 10 cards that I created. Here I've got them grouped to show I kind of grouped them by color grouping. This is our A7 card, and then this other card is the card that I created in the unboxing. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Follow me or subscribe if you haven't done that. Check that description box below for the supplies I used today. And here are a couple more videos I thought you might enjoy. Until next time, bye-bye.